Kevin, you get my first question, because this happens in episode 1 where Travis has his panic attack. When you're playing a moment like that, do you have to specify why that happens to him at that particular moment? Is it specifically because he is coming to realize that Javi might really be dead?
Yeah, absolutely. It's coming from a place of guilt that it was his one responsibility, and he let it go away because he was concerned with other people. And it's sad because that character's going through something where he's finally feeling included by these girls, like at the end of the season, in some ways, in the worst ways, but included. And so he gets caught up in that, and he loses his brother in the process in many ways at that time. And he's starting to have to maybe accept that in his head because it's been a while.
Heartbreaking moment. Very, very well played. Stephen, for you, during the big eating sequence, what do you think it is about Ben that makes him not tempted whatsoever? Like, what makes him different from Travis and the girls in that particular respect?
I've talked about this a little bit. I'm not sure that in another setting he would have been that difference. But I think in that particular moment, the way that they approached it, he wasn't even looking at the body. I don't think he was even considering that. I think he saw their faces. I think he saw their behavior and recognized, like, something is happening with them that is not happening with me, and this is not okay. So it was literally just like, it was like an aversion to whatever it was that they were going through, this kind of trance that they had going on, and recognizing, like, oh, I am screwed, like beyond screwed at this point.
Probably taking it a step too far. I don't even know if you have an answer to this, but they keep saying that, like, something is in them, a darkness is in them. Do they have a darkness in them that has never accessed Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure we know yet, but I think that if there is that thing that it's inside them, I think that's the first, like, inkling that I've had that, like, oh, something is taking over, and these are becoming people that I don't recognize. And at this point, like, my only choice is to kind of step back and just hope that, like, I can get by on my own without pissing anybody off that just did that to that body.
All right, my next spoiler question for you are not your flashbacks, but your dream sequences, which I thought was a really nice twist on the cutaway. What was your very first impression on reading that, and what were some of your biggest burning questions for the showrunners in terms of tackling that and what it means for 1996 Ben, in reality at least?
Yeah, one of the big things was I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to just be kind of I guess the best way to put this is I didn't want it to be like a generic token gay storyline. I think a lot of times you have gay characters in shows, and just as a way of servicing that, they kind of throw in a storyline that just, kind of feeds something to the fans and say, hey, we're paying attention to this part of this character. I wanted it to be actually something that shows where he came from and why he behaves in the way that he does. And I thought they did an incredible job of just kind of filling in his psyche and all the stuff that they hinted at in season 1, but that we didn't actually get to see. And I know you've only seen through episode 6, but as it goes along, you kind of realize that this is even more of a descent into madness for him. It starts off as a real flashback, and all of a sudden now some things from the real world are seeping into it, and he can't really control it anymore. And he just kind of like loses it a little bit over the things that he's experiencing.
Something they're doing so well this season. It's cruel, but like cruel in a good way, where they're showing us what certain characters would have wanted to have happened, but then essentially ripping that away from them, and it makes the situation so much more heartbreaking.
Yeah, exactly. All the more sad for sure.
Episode 6, the Shauna stuff just absolutely crushed me. Warren, for you, we've already kind of like teased this in the non-spoiler section, but Shauna does a lot of bad things over the course of season 1 and through episode 6 of season 2.
Oh, really? Good, bad. The difference is superfluous.
Where does Jeff draw the line? Because through it all, he does seem to always be very supportive of her and waiting to do whatever he needs to do to see, his family through to the other side, whatever that might be. Does he draw the line anywhere? Can Shauna make him snap?
Does he have a breaking point? How much can we stretch the fabric of Jeff? I think he gets pushed close to it by the end of season 2. The reconstituting of Shauna as dark, savage Shauna, real time, is terrifying. And this is a pretty traditional suburbanite, towny guy who's overwhelmed by that. And love can take you so far. Loyalty is a strong bond. But he may have to start thinking about protecting his daughter and protecting himself to some degree if he can't stave off the darkness, the beast.
The darkness.
Darkness. That's a storyline that's excelling big time, and I love it. I'll end with this one for all three of you. I kept it in the spoiler section so you could talk about it freely through episode 6 here, but I love highlighting the value of a good scene partner. So can you each name a time when somebody in the cast was just the scene partner you needed and helped you access something in your own character that maybe you wouldn't have been able to without them?
Mine's really easy. The stuff that I was able to do with François Arnaud in a lot of the flashback stuff, it's scary having a new actor who is completely outside of this world come in and hoping that it's the right match with chemistry wise. And he's a brilliant actor and a great person, and we kind of clicked like that. So a lot of those scenes, just a look on his face would kind of like send me into a whole different world. It was a really great partnership through the whole season.
Casting director on the show.
Nailed it.
A+ across the board.
Yeah, they're great. Shauna from day one. Melanie from day one. So easy with expressing, or seemingly effortless, how she expresses her talent and her craft, and she is very disarming and charming, and as Melanie and as Shauna.
Melanie,
easy to love, easy to adore,
charming. Oh my
easy to
goodness!
declare allegiance to. Yeah,
I already declare allegiance to Melanie too. It's okay. I get it. Yeah. But it was interesting because all of last season, Sophie Thatcher and I had many really great scenes. Sophie's such a great person to work with. And so it was kind of a shift to have some scenes with Courtney this year. And Courtney there's something when she's playing Lottie that it's so calming because it's this like reluctant leader. And so anytime I had a scene with Courtney, it would like you if it was a ramped up scene, like it was so easy to exactly what the character does for Travis would happen in those scenes with Courtney because she's so talented.